today's episode about the webcomics participating in the late 2000s crossover event Crossoverlord, we take a look at the youngest one on the bunch, only 13 years of age. Don't expect a Kitty Pryde though, for this heroine of the hour is deeply dipped in anime influences of the shoujo variety. I haven't seen any shoujo labeled so I can't comment on how accurate the homage is, but anyway, here's Mechagical Girl Lisa A.N.T.
The series debuted at June 2004 on Comic Genesis with writing and drawing by Ida Kierkegaard. This is to my knowledge her only creative work on the webs, and I can't say for certain what she has done after this. There are some Ida Kierkegaards, but no confirmation if any of them is that Ida Kierkegaard. Anyway, the story takes place in Denmark's capital Copenhagen, where our main character, a pop culture enthusiastic Lisa Becker, dreams of being a magical girl like in all that anime, but because this is the mid-2000s, it means she's hella unpopular for liking it. At the same time, Lisa tries to fumble her way through the 7th grade and has the usual bullies to give headache, but her dizziness and lack of focus don't help matters. Though this is all presented as wacky comedy hijinks, what a klutz, am I right?
Sure, her bullies are not the worst, but the comic often has difficulties in using its drama hooks to its advantage, because it often distills them with humor. I get that this is logged in a specific manga genre which doesn't allow much room for angst, but I don't know. The way the comic laughs at Lisa's expense when she's trying to make more than one friend at school and failing at it makes it feel more mean-spirited as a side effect.
Lisa's miserable life gets nudged towards magical girlness when an ant alien from the planet of Entomia crash lands to her room. She is Inakis Io, an engineer in the service of the Ant Queen who is carrying military technology meant to aid in their war against the Termite Empire who wish to conquer Earth. And to Io's absolute horror, the nanobots forming the said power armor bond with the geeky Earthling teen. Lisa now has the amplified strength and dexterity the fabled A.N.T should provide, and while not exactly magical girl, it's close enough, so she eagerly starts her superhero business proclaiming to be Mechagical Girl A.N.T.
What the hell is a Mechagical Girl?
Isn't it a cool word? I made it up myself. See, you told me that I'm no magical girl, but then you said that this was a mecha, and then I thought a girl using magic is a magical girl. I use a mecha, so I must be a Mechagical Girl, right? It's genius!
See, there was a legit reason behind her superhero name. You probably thought this video's title had a typo. I mean, I would never. This is pretty much the extension of Lisa's and Io's relationship, and it's left ambiguous how much or little Io warms up to her unexpected protege. The comedy works with these interactions much better than with Lisa's schoolwork, because in this case the suffering is equally distributed. Though the general level of comedy and the writing itself is hit and miss.
The other sources of comedy with better landing percentage come from Lisa's bumbling in superheroing and her lack of situational understanding and all sorts of potential story hooks. Like how her parents are secretly government agents aiming to catch the potential extraterrestrial threat that is actually their own daughter. That's a classic. Though when they in a later issue got to respond to an alien sighting at the local festival, no one takes them seriously for no valid reason. The series has several non-sequitur segments that try to create comedic moments, but they either aren't fully built or is random for the sake of random, that lasts too long and doesn't in the end contribute anything to the overall plot. One example is in issue number 3, Samba Ay Ya Ya, where there's a lengthy portion of Lisa and friends participating and embarrassing themselves at a samba lesson during a carnival. And the monster Ant eventually has to face has nothing to do with the samba theme. Wait, aren't those two girls the same who bullied her 2 issues ago?
So they're not really bullies, just idiots who don't filter most of the stupid thoughts coming to their heads. Our young heroine does have actual villains to worry about, though most of the time she just faces the monsters the Termite Empire sends and doesn't really fight against any of the big shots. They are a colorful bunch though, and for them and for the rest of the characters there's an extensive cast pages on the site that tells all about their backstories, likes, dislikes, what their opinion is on emmentologies, etc. I can't answer that. My cheese foe is weak.
The most notable member in the Termite payroll is probably Io's longtime rival Habrosun Derasa, who is the only one in Ant.'s rogue gallery with somewhat threatening demeanor. Though her competition on that front is non-existent in a court led by Queen Siraki, who would like to do anything else than conquer planets and is constantly nervous to annoying extent, and the rest of the scene Termite army are incompetent morons. Well, the concept of ninja termites is cool to some level. The most frequent super opponent for Mechagical Girl A.N.T is her fellow student Paula From, who is secretly the popular actual magical girl Pink Flash, who has her own fan club and merchandise, but she's only in it for money and fame! Lisa happens to be a fan as well, so she's completely oblivious to Pink Flash's antagonistness and brushes it off as a simple misunderstanding. Even when Derasa, who pays Pink Flash for her services, openly brags about her involvement.
The series now delves into Paula's motivations to help an Earth-conquering alien force, or even how aware she is of this fact. In this case, it's still within the realms of believability, but not so much in Crossoverlord, where her employer is a grief-stricken madman who practices galaxy-wide genocides out of spite. Pink Flash, what the hell?
You may have gotten the image that Lisa is exclusively a hyperactive dimwit, but she can show stand-up hero qualities, like when she defends a Japanese exchange student from racist remarks. Right after being all Japanophile towards her, but that's neither here or there. These qualities are enough to get her at least one genuine friend and the best character in the series, Marian Bangas Knudsen. She accomplishes this by being significantly calmer and more grounded than the sugar batteries surrounding her, and there are some potentially great story opportunities with her starting to get attracted to Lisa's alter ego. It is left vague, do Lisa return these feelings, or if she even swings that way? And it will remain so because in September 2008 her adventures were cancelled in the middle of the 4th issue.
In retrospect, it didn't come out as a surprise, considering that issue number 4 was littered with several "gosh damn it, this writer block annoys me" updates that are usually the first warning sign. And that issue number 4 was started 2 years earlier. Because this was left so short, it's difficult to fully evaluate the narrative elements of Mechagical Girl Lisa A.N.T, but based on what we got, it seemed like it wasn't meant for me anyway.
The awkward humor that is mostly born from the main character's oblivious nature is both the comic's strength and weakness, as more often than not it's not sharp enough to have proper impact. Plus, the shenanigans tend to delay plot progression without meaningful payoff. Character interactions, on the other hand, can be amusing in their best moments, and few story pieces have potential, but like I said, there's not enough material to judge their effectiveness. As for the artwork that I haven't commented on yet, it seems like decent emulation of its inspiration material style. If you're a fan of shoujo and have read all your Sailor Moon mangas like 5 times already, then this series can offer an acceptably fun evening, but don't expect anything more than that.
This, however, wasn't the end for our pin-sized mega pilot, because even though Miss Kierkegaard had contributed only 3 pages to the first issue of Crossoverlord before deciding to cancel her comic for good due to lack of interest, she gave permission for the rest of the writing team to use the characters, thus ensuring that Mechagical Girl Lisa A.N.T would be part of the series' Paragon Gallery until its end in 2010. That, to my knowledge, is truly the last appearance of Lisa Becker in webcomic hemisphere, and the writer's current aspirations are unknown, so I doubt her adventures are going to continue. Though there's always a minuscule chance. Maybe I should get back to updating that Rayman fanfiction I was writing for fanfiction.net. It's last I'm going to continue this, I swear, update was 11 years ago, Jesus.